This is a time to uprise. Welcome to today's show. A subscriber on the website, Dana, who posts a lot of great stuff, just like everybody over there, posted this about 6G antennas. And I did a video back in January on it, which is no longer available. Surprise, surprise. A lot of good content, no longer available. But I wanted to cover it again because this is a topic that is now making its way through these smaller companies that cover tech topics, et cetera, like Popular Science, Popular Mechanic, that kind of thing, whatever it's called. And it's going to make its way to the mainstream. They're starting to normalize the idea of human beings becoming 6G antennas. This obviously has been talked about at the World Economic Forum. I've done videos showing you what the plan is here. And here's another article that came out this month about human 6G antennas. One of the worst ideas ever, critics say. So this is using the other narrative, which of course is it's a horrible idea. If you know anything about 6G, 5G, 4G, and the radiation and what it's doing to people, then obviously you wouldn't want to become a human antenna, would you? But in general, would you want to? So let me show you some of the clips first from the World Economic Forum and of course the Matrix, because it has everything to do with turning you into a battery, of course.
Matrix. Control. The Matrix is a computer-generated dream world built to keep us under control in order to change a human being into this.
We'll have such a good digital twin that you'll be able to go into the metaverse, into a virtual reality world, turn a dial, pull a switch, feel around, and actually change it in the real plant.
Absolutely. And this is not far off. I mean, the physical and the digital worlds, they will grow together, and the result is exactly what you just said.
I wanted to ask when you all think we're going to move from this form factor to something that's on your face, glasses, and when computing's all on the edge.
All right, 50 seconds. Who wants to answer quickly?
I think it will go. It will. First of all, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies. Say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our body.
So again, 6G antennas, making people 6G antennas, and you might remember the clip that I showed you from Stretch Armstrong, the cartoon. This clip gets taken down a lot, but I'll put it in here for you. If you haven't seen it, you know, about the smart mark, and they're calling it the mark for a reason, because it has everything to do with what's inside of you and changing who you are. But this is the clip from Stretch Armstrong, then I'll get into the article.
Stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever, the Smart Mark. Because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash, book your travel, and even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark, number one.
Time to test our system numbers. Put our new recruits to work. Subtly.
We should find the Flex Fighters.
I ought to find the Flex Fighters.
We should find the Flex Fighters.
You call yourself a man of science. World order is our destiny. Submit to a Smart Mark and join the glorious victory of order over chaos.
People think Smart Marks are brand new Rook tech that will improve their lives. They don't know they're being tricked.
All Smart Mark so far. But your chip makes it possible to control everyone in Charter City, whether they're marked or not.
So the article goes on to say, authors of a new study say human beings wearing special copper coil bracelets could be used as part of an electromagnetic radiation antenna system to power 6G. Critics say the technology could be harmful to your health. No crap. Now, they've also normalized this with copper coil bracelets and these types of bracelets that you see athletes wear around their necks and on their arms. So they've started normalizing this. And of course, that's how they desensitize people to this type of stuff. And don't forget, they have people wearing their Apple Watches and their Fitbits on their wrist all the time. And again, this eventually has to do with it being in your body. Like you heard the clip from the World Economic Forum. It's not going to be a thing around your wrist forever. Even if they start off and they say, hey, you can wear this, you could help out, whatever bull crap they make up, right? Eventually, obviously, we know it's going to be tied in to people's bodies. So human beings can be used as part of an electromagnetic radiation antenna system. So again, I use this all the time to try to wake up just regular people about radiation because they hear it. They're like, okay, so what if the towers give off radiation? They're like, what's the big deal? It's safe, right? Or they're just like, I don't know. I don't feel the effects, because they're not going to feel the effects and realize that that's what's causing the effects of depression, anxiety, and all these other things, that tumors and things that are popping up that people are, having happen to them, as well as all these things like Alzheimer's and an increase in it. They don't connect the dots. Obviously, they don't connect the dots with the magic potion either. But I always say, when you go to the dentist or you go to get an x-ray, for anyone out there that's ever had an x-ray, I mean, not everyone has. So when you go to the dentist, I'm sure everybody who's listened has gone to the dentist at some point in their life, right? You go to the dentist, they're taking the x-rays of your mouth. What do? They throw on a 75-pound, shield over your body. Okay, why do they do that? To protect you from the radiation. What is the thing doing? Well, it's just taking pictures inside of your mouth, x-rays, okay? So imagine that was pointed at you all day long and you didn't have something on you to protect you. Now imagine you being an actual antenna for it. How in the world is this a good idea? So I use that example to people about the towers to try to get them to realize what's happening. Now they, again, of course, will dismiss it most of the time because they go, well, who's saying that much radiation is coming out? Who's saying this or that? They don't want to believe it because they can't see it with their own eyes. But of course, they would, if the dentist was like, hey, do you want to wear this thing to protect yourself from radiation or not? Every single time, I guarantee the person would be like, yeah, I don't want to get hit with radiation. So that's the world we live in now. That's why they go out of their way to silence all of us from talking about radiation poisoning. People will be able to see, if they realize with the 5G towers and then eventually the 6G, what it actually is, the amount it's emitting. People would go, oh, okay, and what are the effects? And they'd be like, wait a minute. So you're saying that, all these things that we've heard, about suicide, mental health, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, Alzheimer's, dementia, all of these things could be tied into radiation poisoning. Yeah, exactly. Then you could also look at why they pulled NAC off the shelves. For those of you not familiar with NAC, you can look it up, the supplement NAC. They pulled that off the shelves right when they were releasing the 5G network. And of course, right when this other thing happened conveniently, because it would help people build their immune systems and protect themselves against radiation. It was used in wars in the past as a means to help, fight off radiation poisoning or effects of radiation or being exposed to radiation. So that's why you can't find NAC at the stores anymore. You can still get it if you want to get it. And that's something on the website. I think there's a couple of I don't know if they're not current ones, but there's been feeds on there where we've discussed NAC. I've done videos talking about that. But they don't want you to be able to fight it off. That's why they don't want to tell you what's really going on, and that's why they want to silence everyone. But they say they want to silence everyone who talks about it because they're spreading misinformation. Because Lord only knows what would happen if everybody found out they were getting fried with radiation, that they actually might go and overturn these corrupt, wicked people who allow this type of technology to get put in place without any of us voting on it, none of our say about it, right? They're just like, we got to get them up. We're getting them up. Oh, okay. Well, you voted for us, they claim, so we're going to do what's best for everybody, even though nobody voted for these people ever in the history of the world, really, because these people have all been put in these positions to do this. And they're not just destroying our lives, they are getting people prepared to take the mark of the beast. So they're destroying their souls for eternity is what they're really doing. The researchers say they developed a low-cost way to harvest radio frequency radiation that gets leaked during visible light communication. The technology, they said, is likely to be used in the coming 6G networks. But some critics allege that using human beings as RF antennas for 6G is disrespectful to the human body and may have unknown health implications. Look, they did the same thing when 5G came out. There was people like me who warned about it, and they put some stories out there so that it seemed like they were giving the opposite perspective. Oh, there's people who say it could be dangerous. And then eventually they come out and they say, oh, it's been disproven. Scientists have said it, because they want it to seem like, oh, well, we're not forcing it on you, but, some people have hesitated to be around it, and we've proven that it's not dangerous. And then, of course, they never have to be held accountable. So there are people out there who are opposed to it. And of course, eventually we know it doesn't matter if you're opposed to it. They will go through with what they're doing, and they're gonna start by doing things like bracelets. The team, the people that we're speaking of here, designed an electrical system bracelet where a human being wearing a bracelet containing a copper coil could collect the RF radiation generated during VLC. VLC RF radiation is leaked into the ambient environment, allowing it to be harvested and used to power small devices, the researcher said. And again, that goes back to the Matrix. I mean, does it not? When people saw the Matrix the first time, they're like, what? Turning you into a battery? They still are. But I mean, when you start actually opening your eyes, you're like, holy crap. Yeah. You're connecting you to technology. You're going to be literally a human battery if you go forward with it. Of course, I'm not going to be. I know most of you, 99%, I'd say, are not going to be. Some people might give in, but, you talk about eternity here. That's a pretty long time. In other words, it's forever. So I would not give in. And you don't want to live forever either, trust me. So a microwatt level of harvested energy has the potential to power ultra-low power sensors such as temperature sensors and glucose sensors. The team did not specify in their design how the harvested radiation would be relayed to devices. So yeah, let's harvest radiation on our bodies. It sounds like a really smart idea, right? I mean, unbelievable. I can't even believe I have to cover this or talk about this. This is a thing that they're going to try to convince people of. And people are actually going to be okay with this. They're going to I'll become a human antenna for 6G radiation. And you're just like, wait, did you even listen to what you said? You're pretty much becoming a conductor. You have radiation pointed at you. And you're going to be a conductor for radiation. That's yeah, why not? Am I going to be able to download that song faster? Can I stream a little quicker? Most importantly, can I play Sonic the Hedgehog online without any glitches with other people in other parts of the world? Then sign me up. I'll be a human antenna. In reality, these bags, because the people who are going along with it don't realize what's happened to their bodies and what is going to happen to them in general. And it's all out there for people to see. So this narrative with the 6G is going to continue. You're going to hear more and more stories about human conductors, humans be conductors. This eventually leads to a forum, that clip about it being in you, your phone being in you. You're the conductor. You are the phone. They're going to see it out of your own eyes. We've seen trillions of movies that have shown us that, even going back to Blade Runner. And movies even before that, the original one, right? All these movies, Total Recall. You've seen stuff like that with Minority Report and all these movies that literally have technology where it's inside of your body, okay? And you become one with one. Health is going to be the way they market this. All of this stuff you hear going on now, it's not because they care about your health. They're using, they don't care. They don't make the people used to this type of technology, and then they're going to market this type of stuff so that people side of them, so they can live longer, feel better, and then they'll push more fear on them about getting cancer, getting dementia, and all that stuff, and how having will prevent that. So human antennas, ladies and gentlemen, sounds like a great idea, huh? Incredible. I thank you guys for being here. Hope you guys for being here. Hope you guys for families.